This opening par 5 will give the field an opportunity to get off to the races. Players who are able to hit this narrow, undulating ribbon of a fairway will find themselves at a great advantage. At 481 yards, most of the field will be giving this green a go in 2, but the second shot plays a good 20 plus yards uphill, and it's all carry with a steep shaved bank of fairway fronting the green. The green is large and 2-tiered, and the stimp meter here can run wickedly high, providing some additional intrigue. There's not a ton of trouble to get into on the first hole, but come match play, a player without a circle on their card may find themselves in a quick one-down hole. The dense woods up the left side lures you into airing out to the right, and while the right rough is fairly open, it does bring one large disruptive tree into play, complicating what should be an attackable hole. At just 350 yards, laying back short of where the fairway pinches in at around 260 is the safest route, leaving a wedge into a green that could feature some interesting hole locations. The third is another sub 350 yard par 4, and given the way it moves from right to left, you'd have to be quite bold to take it on with driver. The fairway cants from right to left, mirroring the shape of the hole, making wedged approach shots just a bit more nervy as flat lies are hard to come by. The 2-tiered green is protected by deep bunkering on the left and right. The fourth provides a really neat visual from the tee, with rock outcroppings on the right and an enormous swale that rises up from below the level of the tee box to obscure the route back down to the green from view. At about 280 yards to the top of the hill, many players will have a great vantage point to take dead aim down to the green. The first 4 holes at Framingham uniquely play out in the same continuous direction, so no excuses for not figuring out the prevailing wind by now. Anything worse than birdie on the par 5 fifth will feel like a missed opportunity. The tee shot is blind but straightforward. Rip it over the patch of fairway that starts to trace the route over the hill. The backside of the hill will kick drives further down into position to go for the green in 2. The better angle is coming in from the right side. A handsome smattering of bunkers up the left probably won't be in play for these players, as they fly their approaches downhill to a green that is protected by a bunker on the right and mounding on the left. There's a good chance to see a number of eagles on this hole. The par 3 sixth looks long on the card at 215 yards, but it plays significantly down the hill. Deep bunkers guard the front left and right, while steep banks fall off on the back and the right side. The left side of the green is fairly flat, while interesting swales on the right side could make a par a sterner challenge if the hole is cut on that side. The 7th is as straight as it gets, with a small tree standing alone behind the green as a beacon. It's an uncomplicated tee shot that doesn't require a driver to have a wedge in hand on the uphill second. The green runs off sharply in all directions and slopes severely from left to right. Beware the short downhiller. It may not be long, but this could be the most difficult approach shot on the property. It plays severely downhill, and it's probably the most exposed tee on the course in terms of wind. So judging the distance and selecting the proper club is the real challenge here. Well, that and the fact that it's the smallest green at Framingham with an extremely steep false front that's just dying to wreak havoc. Perhaps you've hiked back to the 9th tee needing to release some frustration, or maybe breathing a sigh of relief. Whether you're seeking catharsis or riding high, this is a good time to let it fly with driver. This downhill par 4 may look long on paper at 455 yards, but if you landed in the speed slot slope on the 2-tiered fairway, a proper tee shot can run out into absolute green light, let's go make a birdie territory. The 9th concludes the straight out, straight back, interesting routing of the front 9. whereas the back nine switches over across the street to really a different feeling golf course. The 10th meanders up and along a hill, and every tee shot wants to bank off that hill from left to right. Most of the trouble also awaits down on the right. Fairway bunkering, a trio of bunkers short right of the green, and a steep bank that runs away from the green. So it's best to just keep playing up the left side here and let the land guide you back to the center. The 11th is a fairly long par 3 with a narrow landing area, though shots played out to the left should kick down towards the slim but deep green. As is the case on most holes at Framingham, bunkers guard the front portion of the green, and there is some danger long as the bank can kick towards nearby red stakes on the backside. With trees up the left side and bunkers and a large tree on the right, the tee on this par 5 is one of the more imposing looking shots on the course. At 510 yards, this will be another reachable par 5 for most players who put themselves in good position off the tee, though they will face a somewhat uncomfortable blind uphill second. The green is small and runs away down a shaved slope on the backside, so while reaching into may be quite doable, holding it into may be another story entirely. Still, this is a great opportunity for birdie. If you were waiting for something truly funky, here it is. This sharply doglegging, severely downhill sloping par 4 offers you absolutely zero guidance from the tee. The line is somewhere over the trees on the left side, probably with less than driver, as it's only 296 yards down the hill to the edge of the fairway. Something in the 250 range off the tee will still garner a wedge over a small pond to a green that sits in the flat of the lowest point of the course. The 14th works right back up into the hill that defines much of the back nine. On this, the far side of the hill, drives will kick hard from right to left, so an ideal tee shot will carry out over the fairway bunker up the right and then naturally bound back towards the left. The second plays longer than the yardage, uphill and over a false front that can be quite devilish if the hole is cut on the front. The entire left side is guarded by a shaved bank that will repel wayward approach shots still further away. The par 4 15th is a fairly straightforward hole. A drive that carries 260 yards to the slope beyond the fairway bunkers can quickly turn it into a mere driver half wedge hole. There's really no reason to lay back here. Aggressive play is rewarded. Once again, bunkers guard the front portion of the large green, which is itself complicated by some tricky slopes throughout. The 16th is probably the most difficult tee shot on the golf course, and the rest of the hole doesn't get much easier after that. Bunkers pinch the fairway around 270 out, and the fairway turns hard to the left just beyond that. Dense woods up the left means there's not much room to cut the corner, unless you can work the ball from right to left. Of course, another pair of greenside bunkers dot the front side, while the right runs away down a steep shaved bank, and the back edge ends just a few paces from peril in the woods. Accuracy is at a premium here. Par 3 17th oozes New England charm and should provide great theater in the match play portion of the week. The green tilts hard from right to left, so any flag on the right will be difficult to access beyond the greenside bunker, while a hole on the left side could find some approach shots landing, then feeding dramatically towards the cup. The course closes with a risk-reward par 5, which is cut into 3 segments by water. Players who can carry driver 280 may opt to cut off the first segment and take it down the right side into the second portion of fairway, or they can hit it as far as 300 yards up the left side, leaving about 240 into the green. The more conservative player could take as little as iron off the tee and comfortably hop from fairway to fairway while still attacking the green with a wedge in hand. The last bit of fairway narrows just in front of the green with a large bunker on the left and water all the way up the right side, made more perilous by a steep bank. It's a nervy closing hole that could make or break someone's week. Thanks for watching. We look forward to a great week at Framingham for the 116th Massachusetts Amateur Championship.